welcome to Go Off and Create the podcast. I'm your host, Cam. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Today I have with me Nicole. Nicole, how do you go off and create?
Oh my goodness. First of all, thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And I go off and create. I am a marketing strategist. I help women and businesses overall with their marketing, their branding, and overall strategy to help them figure out how can I grow online. And more recently, I have gotten into the wonderful world of automation. So it's not something that a lot of small business owners really think about or talk about because they're so focused on social. But in order for you to really grow on social, you have to have your back end very tight.
Okay, well, we're going to get into both of those, social and automation. Yes. But what's the name of your business? Let them know.
Oh, well. So I am Nicole Levell. I am the owner of Ellison Marketing. Ellison Marketing, the reason why I named my business that, Ellison is Nicole spelled backwards.
Isn't that cool? When she told me that, I was like, yo, that's really fun. I don't know. Ellison. I just like the way it sounds too. Anyway.
Thank you. I found out there's someone in another country who has the same name.
Okay.
Yeah,
well.
So I thought I was brilliant, but there's one other brilliant person out there.
Shout out to you both.
Right. So, and through that company, I work with, like I said, women-owned businesses with their marketing, their branding, but I also work with smaller businesses and larger corporations doing the same thing because my background for the last 16 years, I worked in corporate America doing the exact same thing. Yeah. Marketing, branding, advertising for larger companies.
And what was that transition like going from corporate America to doing your own thing, which can be scary? We all know ebbs and flows of business, so.
Yes, very scary. So it was, I guess, kind of happened right before the pandemic. It was almost like I was getting ready to be in pandemic before it kind of happened, but I was working at a wonderful company, great company. This is one of those companies where people stay there until it's past time for them to retire because it's just such a great company to work for.
That's hard to come by.
Yes, especially nowadays, and pay very, very well. All right, so but at the same time, I had started helping some of my girlfriends, other people that I knew. They were starting their own companies. And I said, let me help you with your branding because you showed me what you want to put out, but I can't let you go out like that. All right, I can't let you go out like that. So I started helping just here and there. And then the next thing I know, I'm building websites. And I'm like, okay, well, this is what it should look like. And at my previous, in corporate, I really didn't get a chance to use that creative side. I had it, but I was always on the strategy side. Yeah. So I think I was just finding it like a really fun outlet. And then after a while, people started paying me for it because I was doing some real work. And before I knew it, I had clients and I was still working full time. And so I had to really have a serious conversation with my husband and one of my really good business, she's one of my best friends, but she's also my business mentor. So, I was like, yeah, you are my business coach. You just don't know it. Shout out to her. She knows exactly who she is. Okay. But she was like, so why haven't you started your own business yet? And I was like, because I work,
Right,
I do this. But by that time, my husband and I, we had just adopted a beautiful, beautiful baby. Yeah. And I wanted to be there, be more present, just be able to have more control of my time. So after we had a nice long talk, he gave that approval, that support, and I really, really appreciate my husband for that support because sometimes that's half the battle, getting over that fear of just kind of putting yourself out there and doing something that's different. And the great thing is, the fortunate thing is this doesn't always happen. I was able to start my business and I already had clients.
Yes, that's true.
So it didn't feel like this big, oh my God.
Right, there's nobody to offset the financial situation.
Exactly. So that's how I got started. And before I knew it, I was turning in my resignation letter. And
I know that was hard since you loved the company was good.
I did. And I still do. I keep up with people that was there. But I had just been in that grind of corporate for so many years. Yeah. I just didn't
Once you get out, you're kind of like, oh. Yeah. Okay,
Well, what was interesting when I first started, and I'm like, okay, I have my own business. I realized for probably the first maybe 9 months, I still operated like an agency because that's what I was used to. Yeah. And so we'll probably talk about that later, but I almost ran myself ragged.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So, oh my gosh, so much to unlearn.
It was.
We're programmed. That's really, from school to to working in your field, wherever it is, you do become very regimented. So
Yes.
it makes sense. So since you already had clients, you started Ellison Marketing. Was it always that name, or did
Yes.
you? Okay, cool.
Yeah, always
See?
that name.
You that girl. You know. Like, so was it easy for you to grow like your social presence? Like all the things that you're applying to your clients, I would assume you applied to yourself.
Of course, yes.
So was it easy for you to, I guess, grow your own online presence?
Well, I never want to use the word easy because it's never easy,
Mm-hmm.
for anybody. You're going to run into those challenges. What I would say was at that time, I had more energy, a lot more excitement. And social was just a very different place.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about, what was that, 2001?
And
I feel like everyone was like, I'm an entrepreneur. So in that sense, it made it, it was like my playground. I wanted to attract women-owned businesses. And at that time, everyone was kind of standing up like, hey, we're sitting at home. We're not doing anything. We're getting all this money from the government. The world is shut down. Let me go ahead and build an online business. So I think, with any business, a lot of times timing is everything.
Yeah.
You hear the stories like, oh, it's sometimes we just happened to open up this business during the best time to open up this business. So I think that made it more fun in a sense because I was truly not alone. Doing what I was doing, and I was learning more and more every day about being in front of the camera. And I went to college for mass communication. So my friends definitely teased me. They were like, "Oh, yeah, you sound like a young Monica Kaufman." Like, I would get on, and they were like, "Hi," I'm like, so that part, I was like, well, when you go to school to learn how to talk in front of a camera, it's hard to
not apply that, right?
Yes. And I'm like, I gotta look a certain way in front of the camera. I can't just get on in my pajamas in my car. Like, that's not me. And so being true to yourself. So I would say that part of it came a little bit easier because of my background. But maintaining that and having clients after a few years, that's a little bit different. So I have a lot of respect for the people who are full-time content creators.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a lot of work. And I know that it's not just work, but it's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of strategy with it. Like, these people, they're just not waking up in the morning, popping on the camera, and I'm making $1 million.
Even though it feels that way. It feels so easy,
feel that way. But there's a lot of strategy with it. They're planning out their days and all of this stuff. And a lot of times they don't work directly with clients because their job is to be a content creator. Right. So I think that started to be my biggest conflict, is being this content creator, pushing out all this content, because you got to walk the walk. You do, because this is your lane. So that kind of led me into teaching online because it was just a lot to have all these individual clients and having them email me. So did you do my social today? Okay. So I started recording courses and selling those, and that's how
it makes sense.
See,
I should have got a course, because let me tell you, the struggle is real. Like, content is so challenging for me. So to hear you say it was challenging for you, it makes me feel better, because it's hard for me to be consistent. And I can honestly say, like you said, shout out to the content creators out there, because I can honestly say I don't think I would be happy if I had to constantly make content. Even though I probably should be making a lot of content,
I understand what you're saying.
It's so hard for me to just always be on. And it's not that things don't be happening, but it's just like, sometimes you don't know the amount of times I have started writing a caption, or I'm editing a video, and then I'm like, this is dumb. I was like, why am I doing this? I was like, forget it. I was like, I'm not doing it.
And so there's these different types of people, right? And I know I have a lot of clients who feel that exact same way. So it's just, I think the difference between that mindset and the person that's the content creator, they have made that decision. This is how I want to build wealth. This is how I want to make money. And so therefore I need to not necessarily be on all the time. They have married their personality with the personality that they're showing out to everybody else, and they're comfortable with the camera being everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like you. Now I won't get, if I've gotten down to the point where I'm writing a caption, we posting it. Right?
You're like, we're there.
I don't work too hard.
We're there.
Yeah, we already there. So I don't know if I can feel you on that one, but if I'm writing a caption, but do I have content that's sitting on my phone even right now?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Yeah. Do I have that kind of stuff? So, none of us are perfect, but there are people who have gotten to that point, and you can definitely tell because of their growth and their consistency. Now, I feel like so much growth to get a team. Yeah. And I will always advocate for help.
If I had a team, this would be different right now. It would be different right now.
Right.
Also, let me just put some clarification. Like, I don't mind helping other people make their content because branding is a part of my background, just to let y'all know. So I don't mind helping clients make their content or strategizing around that. But when it comes to me personally for like my business, I'm like, y'all, like this is hard. Anyway,
it sounds like you need a virtual assistant, but we'll talk about that later. So yeah, I really feel like when it comes to content creation, you just have to have that mindset of what do you want your business to be, and does that purpose match up with what you're trying to do? I feel like for what I do, I made a kind of subconscious decision. Well, I don't always have to be out there because I was getting a lot of word of mouth at one point, and not to say courses are dead, but it's just a different time now. Yeah. So I feel like having those online courses is very different from the ones that we used to create where people were like, oh yes, I will pay the thousands of dollars to take this university style course. And now people are like, no, I'll pay $50 and your videos better not be over 8 minutes.
Right. Like I don't have the time.
Right. You better figure out how to teach me in 3.5 minutes. And so that is very different than how course creation used to be.
Right.
I mean, you would have to take weeks sometimes to put together a course, and now you get content creators. Yeah, I did this in a day, and I recorded all of this, and now it's out there. But that's their focus. So I think with people, I would say like you and I, especially when you have other clients, sometimes that part is a little bit harder to always be on. But also, I would say for me personally, I've had some changes recently, like the last, I would say like year or so. So I started to notice I was always like on and ready. And I was telling my husband, hey, we're going to have cameras in the kitchen. They're going to be outside of little Jack's room. We're going to have cameras everywhere because people need to see what I'm doing. Yeah. And he was like, but why? I was like, because they need to get to know me. And there's like, other ways you can get to know somebody without showing them everything. And also I think when you do decide to show everything, your family has to be okay with it. That's one thing that I am 100%. Noticing. And I have one of those families where my husband's like, I'll be in that corner. Y'all can get in front of the camera, So anyway, but within the last, like I would say, year and a half, I started to notice like this huge shift. Where I used to have like a whole bunch of energy, want to be in front of the camera all the time, getting all the things done, managing clients, being in front of the camera, like, oh, this is great, to, all right, I'm sitting in front of my computer and I don't know what part of my task list I want to tackle. Yeah. So that went on for months, and I'm like, am I sad? I'm depressed. Like, what is it? And I had some good people like, you need to just go talk to someone else. So did all that stuff, and that led me to find out that I have ADHD and also high anxiety. I thought I was a normal person. Right. And a couple people was like, how did you not know you were anxious? I don't know.
I thought it was a regular day.
I was like, so that has definitely affected how I do content, and that has shifted recently what I want to start doing my content about.
But that's important though, because I think that there could be other people who might be experiencing something, a change in themselves. Yeah. And they may be like, why am I so tired now? Why? And so I think that is great that you took the time to actually go see someone to figure out.
Yes. So right now in my current helping women grow online, it's not so much focused on, because you're going to make the content, but we don't have to spend all day doing it. Yeah. We don't have to have cameras in our kitchen, hiding in our microwaves.
That's the content. Yes.
Yeah. We don't have to have all that. We can knock this out in a couple days, and this is how we're going to map this out. I am now officially over 40. I'm over 40. Okay. And
looking great.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. So I really want to help that woman who is feeling overwhelmed. Not necessarily that she's diagnosed with anything, but if you're a woman and you have a business and you have a family, you already have a lot just right there.
Yeah.
And so it's really easy for us to say yes to all the things and start to feel overwhelmed. And then where does it hit first? Our business.
Yeah.
We fall off online. We just say, oh, we'll figure it out. Or maybe I'll just go back to work or whatever it is. So my focus right now is to really help women get out of that rut and show them the systems that can help them grow, but still have that whole life that they need to have. Because a lot of times when we get stuck mentally, it's because something else is missing.
Yeah.
Whether self-care, just spending time with people who are not going to ask you about.
Honestly, getting off social media.
Yeah, some of that, getting off social media. So I want to talk to that woman who's like, okay, I love my business, but it's been X amount of months or it's been X amount of years. This year will be my 5th year in business on my own. I'm like, yay, perfect timing for me to, start getting back out there. But I've been kind of low key off social.
Yeah.
And I will come back and forth. But now I'm ready to get back in front of the camera. I feel like, okay, I've addressed what was bothering me.
Yep.
And now I'm feeling so
Guess
ready.
who's back?
Guess who's back? Yes.
So part of the process for you, I'm assuming you're going to do this as well. You mentioned automation and like having that in gear or in line before you actually take to social media.
Yeah.
Or if you're already on social media, I guess you would say just develop that and then.
Yeah. If you're already on social media, keep on doing what you're doing. What's going to be the key change is how you direct people, where you direct people to go. Right now, a lot of people are still, tap the link in my bio, but that doesn't really match the behaviors that are going on right now.
Right.
So if you're, trying to be a new content creator, or if you have a business and you need to be online and you're still on Instagram saying link in bio, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's of the past.
Right. Is it the what's the new thing? No, not the DM, the comment.
Yeah, comment this word or DM. And so a lot of people are like, well, some business owners don't even know how that's happening. It's like magic for them, like how is this happening? So that is what I am very passionate about, letting all types of businesses, especially women in business. We have so much. We need to know these things. There's something that can do X, Y, and Z once you press go.
Right, which is great. It takes a lot off your plate.
It takes a ton off your plate. But it is technology, right? Yes. And so I think the fear sometimes of technology, or this is something else I have to learn, or don't you know I have to take my kid to practice and I have to do this, that, and third. I don't have time. So I want to make that easier for women. So I actually am starting to offer packages where the landing page and everything is done together. You press a button and it gets pushed to your account. So awesome. You can already have that ready to go. So when it comes to automations, we asked about the DM or comment. There's a couple of different platforms that you can sign up with, and basically you connect your social media to their platform and it talks to your social media. Okay. One of those platforms that a lot of people know about is called ManyChat. You can sign up with them very easily. They have a monthly fee or whatever, and you connect your Instagram. Now you can also connect your TikTok. They used to be kind of like Instagram only, but they're starting to grow their platforms. And so when someone says comment this word, on the back end, you as a business owner have already set up your automation. Yeah. You already know, okay, once they comment this word,
this is what they'll get.
This is what they'll get. This is the landing page I'm going to send them to. And so that takes so much off the business owner. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't know is you can even set up personalized responses. So when they say, oh, thanks, I'm going to send that to you, or, that's all an Autobot. It's a bot doing it. And a lot of people feel like, well, I don't know if I want to do that. It's going to take away from
authenticity.
Yes. But at the same time, we live with AI. I don't know anyone who doesn't say, let me go check ChatGPT for that. Right. It's like I've even had 2 clients and I was kind of offended. I gave them a strategy and suggested something and they said, well, I'm going to see what ChatGPT says. And I'm like,
Chat's not a person?
Right. And I kind of was like, wait, are you serious right now? And they were like serious, but then kind of not. I'm like, no, you really going to check.
Right.
Again, so.
ChatGPT can be wrong. AI can be wrong. It's just, we just had this on the podcast, but it literally just crawls the internet for information.
Yes,
so anyway.
It does. But people have started to connect with it in a very weird way. Yeah. So anyway, that's like you said, a whole nother topic. But because of that, like I just explained, the same way you would go to ChatGPT and you'll copy and paste, sometimes not even read it, which I don't advocate for. I said it's the same as a bot responding for you, you know? So if you'll take a caption from ChatGPT and use it, there's no reason why you shouldn't take advantage of these bots that you can personalize to respond for you.
Right. I don't mind the bots because usually you could tell. You could tell when it's like a bot just responding to you. And also I don't expect that person to really be in their DMs like, all right, I'm about to send this to you. Now, I don't know if there's something to fix this, or maybe it's just how they automate it and it might just be a back-end thing. What I don't like is when it's a constant, like the same person's like, comment below, like they're different posts, and then it asks for the same information. Like, it's like, give me your email, and it's like, but I already gave you that because last time I commented it. So why do I have to give you my email again? Okay. That's what I don't like.
That's what you don't like. So, okay, I'm going to have to go back. Okay, people.
Because it's like you should already have it. So,
and there are certain things that you can put in place on the back end where once someone is like in your funnel that you don't
have to keep doing.
But that's also something that you have to make sure that you do before you put something out. Yeah. And also have an expert. That can help you with that. So right now, remember earlier I said there were 2 platforms. So I have kind of shifted away from ManyChat because I discovered another platform that is called Levell. And it allows me to do everything. And when I say everything can be automated from my social to my email, my landing pages, and everything's connected. And so I am able to auto DM on Facebook and Instagram. And they're adding more channels. And I can plan my social media in the same platform.
Oh, that's good. Streamline everything.
Yes. So, and I'm like, if you are over 40 and you still got kids at home, or even if you don't have kids, you just have your cat.
Right.
Right. Your dog. You still have a lot. So you want to set it and go. And you don't want like that issue that you just brought up where the same person is getting the same 10 messages. You should be working with a system that already recognizes, oh, we have, based on this IP address, based on, the response, we already have their email address. So that's why I moved to a more elevated platform that does more. So you can say, block, don't like kick them out of this or whatever, or block this once they've already responded.
Yes.
So there's different things, and it can be confusing, but when you do have just a little help, then you could get past it. So I'm a big advocate for getting help. Yeah. Like I mentioned, getting a virtual assistant because they could do a lot, and you can literally say, hey, you set it up for me.
Yes. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
I mean, make it a part of your team. Like, right? Make it so it's streamlined. I like for things to be streamlined. I don't want to have to go to multiple places to do multiple things.
I hate that.
That's how things fall between the cracks.
And it is. And your platforms don't talk to each other. And so what I have noticed now, like, is people are like, oh yeah, they're interested in it. And I don't want to, get all nerdy and like you see them get all excited, like, oh, everything's talking. So I don't want to like bore people with it. But like, to me, that is the core of you taking your business from, hey, I gotta be there every day, be in front of my computer every day, to, oh, I made $500 today because everything was connected, everything was talking to each other. They said, yes, oh, I got 50 people to DM me this. And when you start breaking down your numbers based on maybe how much you're selling something for, you don't need 10,000 followers to make money. Yes. Maybe your product is $100, 97, or maybe it's 37. Then you do the math. How many people do I really need to hit per month to get to my number? Exactly. And when you see that number, you're like, oh, it's really not that many people.
Right. I can do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yes.
Let me just have something automated so I can get those people.
Yeah.
Got a higher price thing? Oh, I sell something for $1,000. I need 3 people. Out of the whole internet. I need 3 people to say yes. So I think the focus on making sure that things can read, and even your pictures and your video showing your face, that's going to get people to say yes. Yeah. It's going to get people to buy into you. Yeah. So that's like the branding side. So while I geek out with my technology, I help women in other businesses, because there's big businesses too that are my clients. But I help them to see, like, even as a business, your branding, your brand personality is super important.
People need to connect.
And when they're spending money, people buy into people. And when it comes to brands, they buy into the fact that you see them. You connect with them. And so that part, I feel like is where most content creators are winning. It's not that they're in front of the camera all day. You connect with them. It's something about them that you're like, oh, that's my girl.
Right. I feel like I know them.
And you do. And so as businesses, we have to start mimicking what some of these bigger businesses are doing. I don't know how many people like live in the Southeast, but Publix, if you really pay attention to their ads, a lot of them, they're not showing somebody shopping, grabbing those BOGO sales. They're showing the family sitting down, having the dinner, using all of the things that they bought at Publix.
Right.
Oh, and I forgot something, so let me go back to Publix and get it.
Okay.
But I used to I'm not going to watch Publix during the month of November, December. They're going to make me cry because there's always we made this for grandma and look at how, they're focused on the family. They're focused on that. So you add all this in your heart about your family. Next thing you know, you're at Publix. I needed to get milk because I'm going to make this cake.
Yeah.
You all of a sudden you're making a cake now and you don't even know why. And you're going to Publix. You could have passed by 3 Kroger. You're going to Publix because they made you feel.
That's locked in there.
Yeah. And so that emotional marketing is where you win.
Yes.
Connecting with people. So while automations and everything could be a little, not your speed or not like technology, I hope that people can see how genuine I am. I want to help you grow. I want to see you hit your numbers. And the best way to do that is to be consistent and also to use that automation that's right at our disposal.
So for someone trying to start their business in 2026 with all these new tools, AI and everything, what would be, I guess, a couple of things you would tell them to do, right now? I mean, not start their business, but start their online presence.
To start their online presence, I think the biggest thing I would say that they need to do right now, once they define, of course, exactly what they want to do, you need to make sure you define your audience. That is your who. And I'm not saying find a niche or whatever, but who are you talking to? If you don't discover that, when you're trying to do content down the line, you don't really have anybody to call out. How am I supposed to know I'm your person if you don't tell me I'm the person that you need? So you need to define that who, that person. And then I think after that, you need to make sure that whatever you're trying to offer, your services or your product or whatever it is, you need to define that too. A lot of times I think people fail because they are trying to do too much when they first come out. Think of the one thing that your business is going to be great at, that's going to be your cornerstone, that's going to be your offer. So that way you will constantly be able to talk about the same things. And I would say from personal experience, that was part of the reasons where I think I went kind of wrong in some areas because I was trying to do all the things. Well, don't you know I do branding and I do marketing and I could do this and I could do that. And it's girlfriend,
calm down.
Calm down. We get it. But then what happens is you might attract that person that needs everything, but do you have a staff to support all that, right? So you need to define, what is that true offer going to be? If I have a service, yes, I might offer some other services. They'll figure that out when they get to your website.
Yeah.
So I would say knowing your who, knowing your offer, knowing how you emotionally connect with people. And then the next thing I would say is if you're starting your online presence, you need to make sure you are truly online. I'm probably going to say something that's going to rub people the wrong way, but having an Instagram account and that's it, it's not having an online presence. There's this whole thing called Google and you need to make sure Google knows who you are. And so having a website is still valuable.
Okay.
I think that you can't really call yourself a business until you have a website. And the reason why I say that is because when you take those next steps in your business, that is always a question on every application. What is your website? And you cannot put Instagram there. If you're applying for a business license, you cannot put Instagram there. You need to have a www dot. I'm just putting it out there. So if I rub somebody the wrong way, I'm sorry. But, you have to go ahead and take that time. So I would say if you're starting off and you're unsure, platform is going to be very important. And I'm not trying to be that platform girl, but one of the reasons why I even switched to high level, because it helped not just me, but it helped me with clients who were new to online marketing, because there's one place they had to go instead of 6.
Yeah, that's true.
Where they can quickly, they have templates in there too. Oh, so that's quickly choose a template, boom, have their website live. Go ahead and connect all their socials so they can, so Absolutely. I would say going with a platform where you can do everything there is going to help you feel less stressed.
100%.
Yeah, and I would start there. Like you got to have some kind of web presence, but you got to know who you're talking to. So even when you're using AI, because let's be real, we know they're going to use AI to help them write all the copy and everything. You can at least say, well, this is my business. I am targeting women who like to exercise. My product is these cute yoga outfits or whatever. Yeah. And so that's going to define how you even come off or even how you show up. It like here, like I wear my little pink blazer because I love my pink and it's part of my brand colors. But if I was selling yoga pants, I wouldn't show up like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so you have to define that who and what and your why. And once you get that nice and tight, everything else, we're not gonna use the word easy. It's not it's not an easy button, but it's going to strategically come into place for you. So,
and it sounds like all of that put together helps to kind of prevent or not allow a person to get to burnout so quickly, because you can burn out very, very easily on social media.
And just to go back specifically, because you're right about social media, and you asked me about 2026. Even though I've mentioned Instagram a couple of times, I would say that if you were starting out, especially depending on your audience, look at platforms outside of Instagram. So I would say the number one platform that I would highly encourage any business owner to tap into is YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. All right. YouTube is the second, might even now be one of the first. And I don't want anybody looking this up when they're watching podcasts. It's the best search engine to do this, but it is a very big search engine. Okay. When you are looking up stuff on Google, one of the first things you see are video recommendations. So if you are a coach or you are a service provider or you're teaching someone how to use XYZ, you need to be on YouTube. Because when people are searching how to do those things, you want to be one of the first people to show up. And that is how they get to meet you. That is how they get to, like you said, I know her. Right. She's my favorite coach. I literally have heard people say, oh, no, I don't pay for a coach, but I go to YouTube University. Right. And they find their I go there coach, too sometimes. Yeah. Right. And so don't you want to be that person for them?
This is your credibility.
Yes. 100%. So I would say in 2026, it's more important to that long form content is not dead. It's come back with a vengeance. Yes, the short form is still there. It's still highly important. But being on YouTube, being on LinkedIn, a lot of people sleep on LinkedIn. But if you're a coach, you should not. Yeah. You should not. If you're doing anything where you need to connect with people, people who make money and like to spend money and have strategies that they need to, implement and execute on, you need to be on LinkedIn. Okay. And there are so many other placements and different ways you can show up on LinkedIn outside of just a video. Yeah. So if you're not a video person, you can go wild on LinkedIn because there's articles, you can have your own newsletter, you can get back to writing and all these different things. And one thing I love about it, you don't always have to have a picture. You can just put text and post. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that. So just knowing that like in 2026, I'm seeing the growth and the engagement is very high on LinkedIn right now. And then with YouTube, I don't think the engagement ever changed. You know what I'm saying? Growing on YouTube might feel a little bit harder, but consistency is where YouTube rewards you. Yeah. So if you're like, oh, I want to be on YouTube, okay, make sure you're serious about it. Batch YouTube content. Yes. Yes. And if you don't know what the word batch means, that means you take one day or a couple hours or your 4 hours and you say, I am going to turn off my phone. I'm not going to let anybody bother me. I'm going to close my computer and I am going to take my scripts and I'm going to record.
Yep. We batch over here, people.
Yeah. You have to. You have to. Because then you won't be able to have.
Yeah, you want to capitalize on your time as much as possible. I really can sit here and talk to you about marketing all day. I actually probably should, because I got my own business, y'all. I got stuff I struggle with as well. But you have to let the people know where they can support you, where they can find you at, where they can take your courses.
So again, my name is Nicole Levell, and I'm the owner of Ellison Marketing. And if you want to learn more about me, get to meet me, you can go to ellisonmarketing.com, and it's Nicole spelled backwards. So that is ELOCIN marketing.com. And the great thing is Ellison Marketing is my handle on all my social channels. So YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, you can find me and get to connect with me. And definitely I have a coaching group. Yes, the Diva Club. So yes, if you want to join the Diva Club, definitely check that out on ellisonmarketing.com. And just a sidebar, because, you know, I'm a woman of many hats, and I do have another business. So you heard me mention virtual assistants throughout. So if you are in need of taking the next step of growing your business, and you are at that point where I need help. I needed help 2 years ago, right? This is what you're saying. Your virtual assistant can handle all those things that you won't want to do. And if you need help learning how to delegate, that's where we come in and we help you. So ALGvirtualstaffing.com is where you can go to learn more about getting a virtual assistant.
Yay! And for Grow Up and Create, you can follow us on LinkedIn. Well, I was going to say LinkedIn because she was talking about LinkedIn. We are on LinkedIn though.
You should.
But you can follow us on Instagram, Threads, and we're on, oh wow, it just escaped me. What is the one where you be writing? Substack. Thank you. Okay. Kiana back there. And you can also like, comment, and subscribe right here on YouTube. So. Yes.